Welcome to the final episode of The Harbor. I'm the Kino Cowboy. I'm here with Scott. Like usual, you're probably wondering, where's all the episodes? What's been going on? What happened to the summer series? Why are you sitting on your couch? Why are you not in front of a black background like Scott? Well, we got some stuff to talk about, why we're ending the show, etc., etc. If you're one of our loyal viewers that's been here for years now, thanks for tuning into the final episode. I feel like since it's the final episode, I can get pretty candid. Who cares? And Scott's drinking his water. He's awaiting what I have to say. And what do I have to say? Well, two things converged within my life. Scott came to me, says he felt fulfilled with what we had done, and I agreed. I
Yeah.
did At the time I didn't feel like I was nervous about it, but like I knew it was the right move because we'd been doing it for 5 years. And we've covered almost 200 films. And it takes up more time than people might think during the week, especially for me. It's with editing and exporting and doing the thumbnail and tagging the video and everything, and then watching the movie and then discussing it. It can take 5 to 7 hours of my week, which might not sound a lot to some people, but to us, we have a lot of stuff going on. So
Right. Because if I can add on here, like that's 7 hours, you said, like that's a work day, you know? And sure it's fun, it's an avocation. It's not a vocation, but
enriching.
it's enriching, or even a half day of work for me, because I might just spend some time watching a movie and then talking about it. Let's just say 4 hours, and then also like planning around it. But it's the fact that I do have to like plan this around my schedule. I've had to miss certain things. And then also like I'm fulfilled with what we have. I think we had made a good, albeit niche, like YouTube series for people looking for discussion on certain films, many of which are underseen, some more mainstream, but many of which, like, we're some of the only people on the internet talking about it in audio form, you
Yeah.
know. And, as a video series, like, some episodes are better than others. I mean, I have episodes I'm very proud of that I think are legitimately great discussions of the films in question. Um, I think some of them are really funny. I think some of them are insightful. I think some of them we get personal. But at the end of the day, like I think we accomplished what we had to do. And Adrian and I are both, creative people. I do stand up, which I've mentioned several times, and I do that. I have other stuff I write and work on that I'll talk about someday. Um, that I wanted to focus more on. I'm also working way more, too much. It just came to a point where there's an opportunity cost of this time that we're spending doing this is something we could spend something else and spend on our own creative projects instead of talking about other people's creative projects. There is a creative satisfaction in doing this, even though it doesn't seem like it. It seems like we're just talking. But like I do feel like we made something, but I'm proud of it. And I think instead of dragging it out, it's time to let it go and move on. And like Adrian and I, Kino and I will be, and you'll see videos from us in the future. You might see some sort of discussion. I don't know. It won't be like this necessarily. Um, we're,
Well, I will continue to make video essays and video related films. We might even do a couple of film related sketches. Most of that might be on TikTok, but I might put a couple up on here. I'm not sure,
well, there's
but
YouTube shorts. You can do that.
I'll do some shorts. And I hate calling them video essays because I that's it feels like you have to box them into a kind of
Well, that
style.
makes them sounds like they're 3 hours long and
Yeah,
bullshit.
no, film related videos, that stuff that interests me. I can't do it all the time, but I want to, maybe do one or two a month that if I can. I still am interested in that. Trying to do a little bit of my own flair. So if you want to hear me talk about more about film, those will still exist. And if you have not checked out anything other than the harbor, there's plenty of stuff to go check out other than the harbor. And there's always a backlog. This is our 194th episode, and that's pretty cool. It's not just like us talking about farts and dicks and the
I mean,
comedy
well,
store.
sometimes.
Well,
the
but, and
No,
that's
I have friends who have, podcasts and similar things, and I don't think any of them lasted that long.
yeah. And our highest view episode has 27,000 views. That's not, that's pretty good for a niche patrician show where we're doing Criterion tier stuff. And
And
we
also Tank Girl.
we have about 200, I'd say, faithful viewers that always come through. And you think about that in a room. I'm proud of that. That's awesome. And to all of you 200, thanks so much for sticking around. I know some of you have even messaged me over the years asking about this or that. And I had one ask me about Casher because he disappeared over the last year. Well, what happened to Casher? Well, he settled down and he got married, and now he has a step kid, and he has a big boy job, and he doesn't have time. And that was kind of the beginning of like, well, we're getting older. And he was very proud of the show too, and he loved being on it, but he didn't have time either. And at the end of the day, I am a filmmaker. I have to get back to making films. I haven't done so in 3 years. This became kind of a good hobby for me, but like I gotta really get myself back out there into the world of film. If you haven't seen any of my films, I have four of them. I'll link them below if you want to see what I get up to outside of this channel and in the future. Because the films I have made other than Christmas in Vegas were just bullshitting around with my friends. But now I'd like to transition to a more serious approach and really try to lock in some new stuff on top of making some,
Bullshitting around with your
bullshit.
friends.
Yeah, I still have the
Yeah,
inner
sketches and stuff.
sketch man inside of me who wants to make some bullshit and probably on TikTok, but I do want to get a bit serious with film, and I can't be juggling too many things at once. But to get candid, with all of you in mid-July, Parker and I split up, and it was very devastating. And I had no drive to do anything like you would after a 6-year relationship and engagement. So, yeah, it took me over a month to even get out that final summer series that uh, was just sitting on my hard drive. So,
Right. We had talked about this for a while, and that by the way, I did have to clarify. I did not plan that happening after. I wasn't like, hey Parker, what would be really funny?
yeah,
So that was bad timing on everyone's part. Um, but
yeah,
it's no, so that's one reason it's taken so long to do this episode that you're watching
yeah. I had
now.
to pick up all the pieces. Now I'm in my own new place. I'm settled in. I'm ready to start
Yeah.
getting creative again.
It's
I've
pretty
had,
nice. It's really weird because you have to walk through his bedroom to get to the kitchen. It's really
yeah.
weird. That's it's good. It's good when you have ladies over though. They're like, "Oh, you want a snack? Walk through here. There's one right here, baby."
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Lania. I'm intentionally trying to embarrass you.
No,
Uh,
yeah, but it feels good. I'm glad we're doing this final episode, et cetera, et cetera. I just wanted to, for the true believers, the people that have been through the, with us for a long time, I wanted to do a kind of send off final episode, and so that's what's been going on. So I encourage you, please. I would love to have this channel continue to grow with my other videos besides the harbor. So if you like those videos, stay tuned. I've got a few already in the works. Uh, if you want to share one of those, I can't keep doing Kevin Smith videos. Those are the only two Kevin Smith videos I want to do. I know those make views, but like the guy is just,
you don't want to be one of those you. There are those YouTube channels that are just hate channels that just
I
hate
don't,
one person or thing. There are YouTube channels that are just hate channels for other YouTube channels, and that's that person's whole life.
that's fucking pathetic. I didn't even intend for the second Kevin Smith video. I just happened to watch his latest film, and I was like, it just hit me like a lightning rod. Like, yeah, there is a video here. I need to comment on it because it's gonna drive me crazy if I don't. And so I did. But normally that's not. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. Listen, follow me on Instagram at ScottKComedy, which sounds like ridiculous. But like I know like I'm just some dude on YouTube, but like I actually do get booked and do shows and make money. It's beer money and I spend it immediately. But I do but I like do, have shows. 2025 has been better for me because I've employment's been day job, comedy's dead, whatever, America's dying, fuck it. Uh but follow me please. You don't even have to watch anything, and you'll see sketches and stuff on there once we start posting them as well.
Yeah, totally. You want to keep up with Scott.
There'll be a link in the description.
He'll be in some of my future stuff anyway. We'll be around, And if Scott feels like doing an essay or something, and it could be, the Kino Cowboy channel would be housed for, uh, a house for stuff like that. So, Scott's not just going to disappear forever after this episode. That'd be actually pretty crazy if he did phased out of existence.
Yeah, you just don't know where I am. It's like weapons. I just leave my house in the morning.
You turn off the camera, but you're still in this black
Yeah.
void.
I'm just lost. I'm like, oh no.
But it's like several reasons I started this show is because, well, yeah, I wanted an excuse to talk about movies, but like, and also an excuse to make my friends watch good movies that I've been trying to get them to watch for a while. But also, like, I wanted to sharpen my skills of analyzation, and also, uh, I've always had problems taking some of the more abstract thoughts and opinions in my brain and spitting them out as cohesive sentences. And
I
so,
think that's because you're a filmmaker and that's how you express those thoughts.
oh yeah, sure, yes,
I think,
absolutely.
and part of that, and I'm not even saying this in any sort of way, like I'm more of a writer and a comic. And so, like, words come more easily to me than images do,
Right.
and vice. So, we're
Like
just,
that is a skill I wanted to sharpen, and I have.
I,
And
dude, this has been my film school, really.
yeah,
Because
it's
I mean,
like,
and you still, certainly on the technical side of film, like, you know more than I do. Because I'm just so lazy. I hate editing and it's so bad. I got my program crashes one time and I'm like, well, guess that video is never gonna exist. But my whatever bullshit comes with Windows, not even Movie Maker now.
oh,
Clip Champ, I don't even
oh
know.
my God.
Dude, yeah, I need to get on it. I need to do something because I love movies, but I'm so lazy. But what was my point there?
Well, I mean, we
Oh no, it's no, like
watching
I
many
do feel
movies,
like
we
my
learn
film
more about
literacy
film.
has skyrocketed. Like I've seen so many things. I get some real hipster cred.
Yeah.
I was always a big movie guy, like, and I was always known like as a guy who knows movies, but like, but largely because of this, not only because of this, like people know me now. I'm like a go-to guy, which is funny because I was eating dinner with you and Dylan the other day, a Harbor alum, and I was like, dude, people think I got film knowledge. Like they don't even. Some of these guys, like, I have other things in my life at least. Like
Yeah.
they're locked in.
That's the only shame is like we didn't get to some fucking insane shit like last year at Marion Bad or Color of Pomegranates or like 964 Pinocchio and stuff like that.
I don't
But
know.
that's fine. But it's like
Maybe
I did
do a
want
mini
I did
review
keep it
sometime.
a mix of like accessible Criterion tier stuff and then some stuff like hard to be a god. It's like what the fuck are you doing?
Dude, that was one I when I was writing down movies, like there's some stuff like Hard to Be a God where I mean that's the densest movie I've ever watched in my life. That's the most difficult to understand. Honestly, just because I feel like it's an adaptation of a Soviet work that like they just assume you've read. It's like if they threw you in the middle of Lord of the Rings, but there was no exposition and they just expected you to like have read Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. That's like for the first few years, everything was pretty much curated by me of stuff I'd already seen. And then the last couple of years, it was a lot of stuff that I hadn't seen. And I was taking a risk. But a lot of the times that paid off. Several movies that are now some of my favorites, like The Swimmer. I
Yeah.
love that movie. Like that movie is my kind of movie of like taking that ideal like getting lost in the summer fantasy and just undercutting it with reality like it did. That was so good. And and then Symbiopsychotaxiplasm part one and two. I know y'all didn't watch part two, but
Didn't have time.
that is the most like one of the most Adrian movies we could have watched
It's so Adrian Core.
where I love mockumentary and documentary style, and when you blend the two and you can't tell what's what, and when things start to get weird, it's just like it's so fun. So that it's crazy. Some of those movies like that one, it's like, oh, I hadn't seen that before. I made so and so. It's like if you watch my film, uh, Summit of Saturn, you would assume I would have watched Twin Peaks season three before it came out, but no, I made that before Twin Peaks season three.
Yeah, dude,
But
David Lynch ripped off
no, I'm
our
just saying,
movie.
like, you would think I'm like ripping off Twin Peaks season three in that movie, but there's also movies like I had watched once, and then for The Harbor, it was my rewatch, and that rewatch solidified it for me as like a great movie that I love now. Like Midnight Cowboy, that movie really grew on me over time.
Yeah, and that's one. First of all, I think that's one of our best episodes, just because like I think it's equal parts insightful and also really funny. We had a lot of good
Yeah.
banter on that one. We're just trying not to get canceled the whole episode, but also we're like really into the movie and like what it's
Yeah.
trying to say. But which is always great. We're down with that, but I mean that's one of my favorite movies we've done on here. And that was a movie I hadn't seen before. And that's another reason I did this. There's so many movies I put off seeing for the longest time. You know, Sean Baker's work. I tried Tangerine, couldn't really get into it. And in our Florida Project and Red Rocket episodes, which I was not on the Florida Project episode, and I think I'm actually kind of glad I wasn't because you and Kasha really got to talking. That's one of our best episodes. Um, things like that, even things like AI, which is a Spielberg. Like that
Yeah.
blew me away how um just different that is, and I really need to
Rewatching that
rewatch.
now, or just a year or two ago when we did, it was like, holy shit, what a different experience from watching it in my like late teens.
No, that movie like puts so many of my existential anxieties on a film and expresses them in a way that like I have trouble to like
Yeah.
I have to. It's like next time a woman asks me why I don't want kids, I'm just gonna show them that movie. I'm just like, do you have 2 hours real quick? No. I mean, even stuff, even our more After Sun's another one that
Oh my God.
yeah, that I'd watched. And I
That
was
was
like,
a second watch for me. And within the first 5 minutes, I was already bawling. I'm like, I'm glad I'm home alone for this.
yeah, it's nuts. And there's also even something like Pretend That You Love Me, the Joel Haver movie,
Yeah.
that we had what's his name on from Albuquerque. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
glad we had different Scotty Leonard. And I'm
Scotty
glad
Leonard.
we got some of these random guests on like him to show us that. Because that was my introduction to Joel Haver, and that paid off, especially when
Yeah,
I
that paid
started
off
on
great.
Smiling Friends. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, Smiling Friends season 3 coming out.
It's
I'm
so
excited.
funny in that
I'm just
episode.
gonna name a few real quick. Blowout made me like De Palma. I saw Carrie and Scarface, and I was like, these are all right. Like, but I don't. And then I saw Blowout, and I was like, okay, I get it. De Palma's the shit. The Handmaiden, I loved. I really need to rewatch that. It just moved me. Sorcerer is the shit.
Oh
That movie
man,
is
what a
not,
picture.
dude. That movie is not talked about enough. That is such a good freaking movie. It should be talked about in the same breath as
Well,
the
it's
X.
got a nice Criterion release now, so more people have been
Yeah.
talking about it.
And then In Bruges is like one of the funniest movies I've seen in my
That's
life.
a movie I should have seen when I was like 18, but I
Me
never
too.
did.
Yeah. And that's one of those movies I would show to anyone, not just like some of
Yeah.
these, like Funeral Parade of Roses is one of my favorite movies on this, but I wouldn't show this to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine it movie night with your folks. We're gonna watch Funeral Parade of Roses. Hell yeah.
They'd have, I don't know how they'd feel. And even our goofier stuff, like I love our stupid bloated Justice League episode. I love our stupid long Star Wars talks that are just so ridiculous to the point where that Red Letter Media had a new Star Wars episode and it felt passe because I'd already talked about all the same stuff with you.
Those
So
were those Star Wars episodes were just necessary. We had to siphon off some steam. Like it's just
No, that it was like we're
maintenance.
yeah, we just had to let it out. There was no like this is for the audience. Like there was it's like maybe somebody will watch it,
Because
but
normally we try to stick to older stuff, but Star Wars is just Star Wars, and it's such a weird state, and has been for the last, well, since episode 9. So, but
I don't know.
yeah, and then
Also, it's people keep trying to sell me on Andor, and I'm just not. I don't know.
yeah, well,
Maybe I'll give it another shot. I love our Southland Tales podcast because it's just more and more Casher realizing that he hated it.
me at the same time realizing it rules because it exists and was a wide release, big budget movie with all star cast, and
that's
that
that's what's crazy
it's
is like,
nuts.
but now we have the Smashing Machine coming out, and The Rock. It's like, yeah, now The Rock can really act. I'm like, no, he already did, and
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
called Southland
Southland
Tales.
Tales and Pain and Gain.
Yeah, I haven't
Two,
seen Pain and Gain.
two pictures from movies that he was in. Um, yeah, De Palma's. Well, I had seen it once in 2018, but when I know you weren't on this episode, but when we did Phantom of the Paradise, that solidified it in like my top 50. I love Phantom of the
I
Paradise.
really need to see that.
Logan's Run, I've always appreciated that movie, but like that was a good episode. That was like one of our first episodes that got more than like 1,000 views, I remember. And it was just like, man, that movie's set design, peak 70s futurism, nothing like comes close in that very particular style. And it was just like, I don't know. I've been watching so much 70s sci-fi schlock lately that it's like you come to appreciate when it's refined as much as it is in Logan's Run. So, and then there's some of our earlier episodes I think would have done way better if we would have released them when we had our bigger audience. Like our La Dolce Vita episode only has like a handful of views. That's one of my favorite episodes we did.
Yeah,
And because I mean, that movie, fuck.
that I mean that's one of my favorite movies. That's like in my Letterbox top four if I had Letterbox. But that would be it would be like that Conan the Barbarian, which is another episode I really
Totally.
like just because I
Yeah,
got to get it out. Um,
yeah, dude, hell yeah. Conan
but
episodes are good.
it's La Dolce Vita also hits on a lot of existential stuff that
And then yeah, that and With Nail and I, which is also one of my favorites. That movie is crazy. And it's such a huge cult classic in Britain, but over here no one knows about it.
right. I did have a couple of British friends say they enjoyed that episode. I know a few Brits.
Hell yeah. And then some episodes that we went in blinds that didn't work out. Well, they worked out, but just not how we thought. Like when we did Midnight Express and it was like the most racist movie we'd
Oh
ever.
yeah, dude, that's the most. It's like Song of the South levels of racism in that movie.
I just put on my dad's recommendation and Joey Diaz's recommendation.
It's like that probably should have been our first clues.
And well, he just hyped that movie up for like 30 minutes. And then when I told him we did an episode on it, he's like, what? Oh, yeah, that movie's all right. Like, what? You
Your
just
dad
something.
was like,
Yeah, I don't
he was
understand
probably
that
just
at
really
all.
mad at a Turkish guy that you did.
And also, like, the algorithm has been such a pain in the ass for us and like getting clips copyrighted. It's like I would be up till 4 trying to like trim down certain segments and trying to get YouTube to cooperate and stuff. And sometimes it would really just make me have like a 3-hour sleep day. People don't realize how frustrating and hard to deal with YouTube is and can be. And it just like our good time episode, one of my favorite movies of the 21st century is like couldn't even like that episode got butchered because of YouTube's copyright bullshit and that episode only ended up getting like 50 views. I was so mad about that for so long. And we got our slow and gradual more and more views, but it just at the end of the day, it wasn't enough of growth to really push everything aside to focus on. And people, I'm sure at home can understand. And I'm not discounting the views we had. I'm just saying, we got to be logical. Me and Scott in our early 30s now, we got stuff to do.
Yeah, I can't keep telling people that I have a YouTube channel that I spend hours a week on. That's for 5 years. I'm proud that we've done it, but like that has not a lot of views.
But yeah, I mean, some stuff is like, yeah, we're not gonna get like I think of like well, actually some episodes I'm surprised flopped and then others explode. Like
I gave up on predicting. I
Eight and a
completely gave
half should have been one of our biggest episodes, and it was one of our smallest. I don't know, but and then other ones like Planet of the Apes sequel, that was a banger. Stuff like that. It's just like hell yeah. The swimming pool, that's like our biggest episode. Like hell yeah, French cinema, baby. Whatever. But yeah, and I did have fun like coming up and like with a list at the end of each year trying to kind of balance out the more esoteric shit with some stuff that would be more appealing. But then oftentimes some of the more esoteric stuff is what got the more views anyway. Like,
because we were hitting a niche.
yeah. And yeah. Speaking of esoteric, Celine and Julie Go Boating, that was another one. That was a movie I nothing like it I'd ever seen before. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's a completely unique movie that grew on me the more I talked about it and thought about
yeah,
it.
me
I
too.
watching it. I didn't really enjoy. I thought it was interesting. I didn't really enjoy it that much watching it, and then it really grew on me.
What are some movies? What are some of your least favorite movies that we did?
Dude, that's hard to talk. Midnight Express really racist.
Because
Tank
we did
Girl
a
was
lot of
so
great movies. It's hard to hate on many.
yeah. It's because we didn't. This isn't that type of channel. Like we didn't pick movies that just sucked.
Yeah,
I would
kind
almost have to go through and look
of. I'm
honestly.
looking a little bit. Because even
Was
if
there
they
any
aren't
that?
like,
I mean, I said "Hard to Be a God" was so brutal, but again, that's not because I hated the movie. It's so interesting, you know. We just did Minority Report, which was not as good on a second watch.
that, yeah, I was
Um,
disappointed by that movie.
Excalibur is okay, you know.
I love, dude, visually
Sometimes,
incredible.
I thought Les Samurai. I don't know. Sometimes movies are
Well,
too.
La Samurai I thought was not a masterpiece like everyone says it is. Oh, of course, our episode we like quit halfway through, Tank Girl. That movie
Yeah,
sucked dick.
yeah, I said that. I was just like,
Okay.
this man. I'm done with this. Man Bites Dog, I thought was by today's standards very like two dimensional.
Yeah, I
You
fucked
know,
with that too.
it's like not nearly as good as Point Break. That's a much better movie. um, Streets of Fire was okay. You know,
Oh, dude, that
I
movie was.
I wanted it to be better, but I still enjoyed it. Legend is some of these are like good, but they're not great. I want to enjoy it
Yeah.
more than I do. But those are just a few.
Yeah, there's not many. I mean, mostly everything I like Mirror, I got more out of than I expected. That was like the start. Like I had seen Stalker, but Mirror really opened up like my third eye for Tarkovsky.
Yeah, Mirror. I'm in a weird way. I'm glad that that was my first Tarkovsky, as dense as it is, especially if you've never seen Tarkovsky. But going from Mirror to Solaris, you're like, oh, this is easy. Like this is
Yeah, yeah.
not. Oh, the Book of Boba Fett. That was disappointing.
Oh,
Jesus.
I was surprised about like how greased out Casher got with pink flamingos because I don't know. He's a former party guy, Wook. He's been around greasy shit.
Yeah,
That was like
festivals
too much for him.
too much for him.
That okay, but it was like that's such a I don't know iconic movie. I can't watch her eat dog shit at the end. I watched it one time. The second one time when I rewatched it, I like a loser. I looked away, but whatever.
Ah, you're such a cow.
Yeah, well, occasionally we did do some newer movies, and the I think the best new movie episode was The Fablemans because that was a 2 hour cast, and we really got a lot out of it.
I got a lot out of that movie. That's another I would like to rewatch. I don't have time to watch movies barely, let alone rewatch. It sucks.
I do, but well, it's like it sucks. I don't cook for Parker anymore, and I don't have to share the TV anymore. But like, I can put on anything at any time in the living room, not worry about. Like today, I watched two Herzog documentaries, both completely different, both of them incredible, and just like,
You want to hear something crazy?
yeah,
I have never seen a Werner Herzog film or documentary at
it's
all.
gotta change.
Yeah, I know. We need to
But
have a Fitzcarraldo.
it's visual poetry,
Yeah,
especially. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah.
we can't do an
Yeah,
impromptu
we can't talk about all the stuff we've been watching. We're just gonna keep it short.
impromptu Grizzly Man
Just kind of
podcast.
wanted to do a little retrospective with you guys for our faithful viewers, listeners at home. Come and see. That was fun. Me and Casher did that one. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything else to say to our people? Other
Um, yeah, I just oh man. Yeah, Lahane, that one was one that like should have popped off more, but we were still earlier in our days. But
God, that movie's good. That wasn't my first viewing though.
yeah. But I just wanted to thank everybody for watching and follow Scott. He's still going to be around. I'm going to continue to put stuff out here. So if you haven't given those other kinds of videos a chance, please do, because it would really encourage me to keep creating on this channel because I'd like to. I just can't do an output like we did with the harbor. So look forward to that. Follow me on Instagram too. I'm TheMooringLine, which is my other channel that we used to put out all of our sketches on. So you can follow me on there, and then I'll try to keep that updated with once I start getting into more new film projects. I will try to keep it updated on my Instagram story and stuff like that. Try to build the hype a little bit. So if you want to see my creative endeavors, follow me on there. And then you got Scott K Comedy. Other than that, we want to
You
thank
know it.
everybody for listening. Final thoughts on the harbor.
Thank you. It's been good. I'm proud of what we've built. It will still remain here. He's taken off the crown, but he's still the king of all Kino.
And thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for these 5 years. We will not see you next week, but yeah, thanks for watching.